Now, schools across England are reopening today in the first step of the government's roadmap out of lockdown. But all pupils will be asked to take rapid COVID tests and wear face masks. Nick Dixon is at a school in Leicester where they're getting ready to open the gates once more. Good morning to you, Nick. It's going to be all change, isn't it, for families up and down the country as schools fully reopen. What are they doing there about the testing? Because, of course, this is how it's going to be different, isn't it, this time?
Yeah, morning, Charlotte. The long, painful months of homeschooling now finished, and the school gates, as you say, will swing open here, certainly, at 8:15. All very different for the pupils, of course, after months of being at home. There's at Rushmead Academy here, there's 1,800 pupils coming back today. Other parts of the country will be a little different. It'll be staggered to make the testing a little bit easier. But here, certainly, they'll come into these COVID cabins. There's 3 of them set up. The school pupils will take their tests here, their lateral flow tests, and then across on the other side, the staff will be waiting to take in their data, scan the barcodes, and that information will then be fed back to NHS England for around 20,000 pupils going back to school.
The changing room cabins at Rushmead Academy are being turned into COVID test sites for the 1,800 students here. Returning to school will also mean taking rapid tests twice a week. The school says it's trying to reassure parents and pupils.
Everything is being considered to make sure that the school is a nice, safe place, a predictable place, a safe place, which is going to help with student well-being and welcome them back into school.
Now, around 20,000 schools across England will reopen today. Pupils will be asked to take rapid COVID tests and wear masks in the classroom. Nick Dixon is at a school in Leicester now where they've set up testing stations to make this work. Morning to you, Nick. So the return of students is the first step in the roadmap out of lockdown set by the Prime Minister. There'll be a lot of parents up and down the country breathing a sigh of relief, won't they?
Yes, of course, the end of homeschooling. It's going to be an interesting morning here at this particular school because there's 1,800 pupils coming back here. At some schools, Charlotte, it's going to be staggered over the course of the week, but every single pupil is coming back here, and it is going to be a sort of minor military operation in many ways because a lot of the pupils will be coming in here for their voluntary test, their COVID test, in these COVID cabins which have been set up. There are 3 of them in the school for all of the pupils. You can see some of the children already in this morning just finding out what happens and what they need to do when they take their test. Let me just have a quick chat with Dylan. Let me interrupt you for a second. Hi, Dylan. Morning. So how are you feeling about, first of all, coming back to school after being at home for so long?
So I think coming back to school would be good because you can start teaching, well, the teachers can teach and it'll be more interactive. And I think it'll be nice to see friends again.
And how about the test? How do you feel about these tests?
Yeah, the tests are good. I think that it's a good way to know whether you're positive or negative quite quickly.
And you feel safe and secure?
Yeah, it's safe and secure.
Okay, let's have a chat with one of Dylan's friends, Ben. Hi, Ben. How do you feel about being back this morning after being at home for so long?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it, really excited because I can see my friends and soon play sport again, but the face-to-face teaching will help them to elaborate on points if we don't get it. Home learning was good, it was brilliant, but sometimes the work, the teachers can elaborate when they're in school.
Sure. And the test, are you comfortable having the test as well?
Yeah, I'm really comfortable because I think it's the right thing to do, to know that when you go into a classroom, you know that there's 29 other people who are negative, so it makes you feel safer and more secure in the classroom. Okay,
thank you. The head teacher's here as well this morning, keeping an eye on everything. Gulbanu, morning to you.
Morning.
I mentioned earlier it's kind of a military operation to get everyone tested. Is that how it feels this morning?
It does. We started planning and preparing for it as soon as we had the DfE guidance. So it started last week, so some of our students have already had the first test and the second test, but all of our students who gave consent have had the first test done. And now we've got a rota set up, we are ready. The students will be coming out of lessons in the 3 cabins that we've got set up in a chronological order, and we'll be making sure that the students will get tested by the end of the week. Okay. So it should be absolutely fine.
I guess for a lot of the pupils as well, they've been away from school so long, it might feel quite anxious for them coming back. Have you got measures in place to help them?
We're expecting a full spectrum of emotions from students who are going to be really excited about coming back to school to those who are feeling anxious. The tutors, the pastoral team has been in continuous contact with the students, so we know what sort of temperature that the students are going to be in, what sort of emotions that they're going to be having. We have got surveys ready for the tutor time so that we can have a look at what support needs to be put into place.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much. Best of luck today. It is a bit of a calculated risk, I think, for many people. That's certainly how they feel, because of course it could bring up the infection rate, Charlotte, but it is that first important step back to a sense of normality.
Nick.
Yes, around 20,000 schools reopening this morning, though it'll be a very different experience for pupils coming back in the next half hour around England. They'll be seeing many of these COVID cabins in the playground where they can queue up and get their lateral flow test before going back to the classroom. And at secondary schools as well, many will be asked to wear a face mask. The Prime Minister saying this is the start of a return to a sense of normality.